Good morning, boys and girls. What we're going to be learning about in writing today is series writers investigate what makes realistic fiction realistic. But before we do that, let's stop and celebrate all the work that you've done so far. Give yourself a big pat on the back for being an author and writing all your realistic fiction stories. You've all been doing such a great job writing your stories, having your characters in your story, having a problem, solution in your story, having feelings, dialogue. Give yourself a big pat on the back right now for being an author. Writers, we're going to figure out what authors do to make stories seem real so that they are realistic fiction. So what we're going to do, we're going to take one of the series that's realistic fiction, Henry and Mudge and the Happy Cat. What we're going to do, let's look through a few pages of this realistic fiction series, and what we're going to ask ourselves is what feels real about this story. So that's what the question you want to keep in mind. What feels real? To figure out what makes realistic fiction seem so realistic, we have to ask ourselves, what feels real about this story? Let's take this page of Henry and Mudge and the Happy Cat. It's in a real place, inside a house. It's in Henry's house. That's real. It's not in a spaceship or in a volcano. That is not real. No one lives in a spaceship and no one lives in a volcano. So these stories should not be about things that can't happen in real life. Another thing that feels real about this story is there are real characters. There's a dad, a boy, and a dog. Dads are real, boys are real, and pet dogs are real. It's not a dog who suddenly turns into a ninja to save the world. That is not real. Dogs cannot turn into ninjas, so that should not be in your story. Another thing that feels real is that they are doing real things. They're all sitting on the couch watching TV. That's what some people do. That's what families sometimes do together. They sit on the couch and they watch TV together. It's not a couch that turns into an airplane that flies away. That is not real. That can't happen in real life and should not be in your story. So that's why Henry and Mudge is a realistic fiction series, because even though this dad and this boy and this dog, they're not real, they're not in my class, and they're not my neighbors next door, but they are characters. A dad could be real, a boy can be real, and a pet dog can be real, and they are doing real things like sitting on a couch and watching TV. Now, it's your turn. You're going to ask yourself, what feels real about this part in the story? I want you to ask, what are they doing that is real? What real people are in this picture? What real pets are in this picture? And what else do you see that can be real in this picture? Okay, I want you to think about this question for a couple seconds. Go ahead. What feels real about this story? Okay, did you look at the picture and ask yourself what feels real about this? Okay, I have the same picture. What are they doing that is real? They are outside answering the door. That happens when someone rings the doorbell, you answer the door, or your parent answers the door, and that can happen. What real people are there? In this picture, I see the dad and the boy. Those are real people. What real pets are there? I see a dog and a cat. Those are real pets that someone can have. What else did I see that can be real? I see the boy smiling in the picture, the dog is wagging his tail, and the cat is sitting on the step. Those are real things that can happen in a story. Now it's your turn. Your activity for today is to write another realistic fiction story. Think about today's lesson. You want to make sure what your character is doing in the story is real. How are we going to start our new realistic fiction story? Well, the same way that we've been doing so far. We start with one day, then, and last. Beginning, middle, end. If you need more help, let's take a look over here. In your beginning, this is where you introduce your character names and where are they going. In your middle, this is where you write the problem that your character has. In your ending, we write the solution to the problem and end your story. Remember, we always end our story. We always fix our problem with a happy ending. Remember to include feeling words and talking, dialogue in your story. Okay, go ahead.